inspiring quotes by Albert Einstein to inspire you to be great. Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Never memorize something that you can look up. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what then is an empty desk a sign? Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Once you can accept the universe as matter expanding into nothing that is something, wearing stripes with plaid comes easy. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. You never fail until you stop trying. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the questions much longer. Creativity is intelligence having fun. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. If A is a success in life, then A equals X plus Y plus Z. Work is X, Y is play, and Z is keeping your mouth shut. Black holes are where God divided by zero. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. Everything must be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up. But when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Men marry women with the hope they will never change. Women marry men with the hope they will change. Invariably, they are both disappointed. A question that sometimes drives me hazy: am I or are the others crazy? Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. We dance for laughter, we dance for tears, we dance for madness, we dance for fears, we dance for hopes, we dance for screams. We are the dancers, we create the dreams. If the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. Love is a better master than duty. Time is an illusion. It would be possible to describe everything scientifically, but it would make no sense. It would be without meaning, as if you described a Beethoven symphony as a variation of wave pressure. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. We all know that light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear them speak. I never made one of my discoveries through the process of rational thinking. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. Nothing happens until something moves. I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Imagination is the highest form of research. God does not play dice with the universe. However rare true love may be, it is less so than true friendship. Our task must be to free ourselves, by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. I never think of the future, it comes soon enough. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. What a sad era when it is easier to smash an atom than a prejudice. Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. You can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. Wisdom is not a product of schooling but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world, and all there ever will be to know and understand. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. A true genius admits that he or she knows nothing. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. If there is any religion that could respond to the needs of modern science, it would be Buddhism. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. Few people are capable of expressing with equanimity opinions which differ from the prejudices of their social environment. Most people are incapable of forming such opinions. I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. The only real valuable thing is intuition. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than any talent for abstract, positive thinking. It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind. When the solution is simple, God is answering.
Dein Zuhause ist dein Lieblingsort.